Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. I'm doing the foreword today for the book How to Get Out of Your Own Way by Tyrese Gibson. If you haven't bought it already, please do. I've put some links. They're not affiliate links, they're just links down below. Just makes it easier for you to just connect straight away and connect with him on Facebook, because as I mentioned yesterday, for those of you who heard, I've only been following Tyrese Gibson since November of last year, and I've already seen a massive shift in the way I think, the way I'm handling my stuff, and the way I'm moving forward. So what he does, he posts some videos on his Facebook page, and sometimes they're short, but sometimes they're not. But you know what? You literally can't. You're glued to them, because he's not just babbling on, he's giving you real stuff to think about and real stuff to implement, and yeah, stuff that really change the way you think, and also make you think, oh my gosh, this is why my life is the way it is, because I'm not doing ABC, for example. So yesterday I did video 1, which was author's note, and a prayer before we begin. They were very brief. From now on I will get into much more detail, and I've actually just summarized some stuff just in a Word document, which I'll actually put in the YouTube video in the description, so you can sort of read a bit more detail. It is not as detailed as the chapter itself, so that's why I'm saying there's lots of gold nuggets in here. Please get it if you can, and if you can't, then please follow this little video journal, and you can understand and grasp. Hopefully I can bring it across what Tyrese is getting at in these videos. And so today we're doing the foreword. And the foreword is quite interesting, because Tyrese mentions his friend, what's his name? His name is Samir, and who lived in Dubai. They became best friends, well, very good friends I should say, and they were brainstorming some stuff together, possible, business ventures, whatever. And then Tyrese actually mentioned to Samir that he wanted to write a book, and he thought it was a good idea, and Tyrese actually mentioned the name. Tyrese actually said, "Get out of your own way," and Samir loved the name. He said it's a great idea, and after a while they lost contact, and they reconnected at sort of around Tyrese's 29th birthday, where Samir literally gave Tyrese a sort of a mock-up of a book, and it had how to get out of your own way, and it had his photo on the side, and the spine and all that kind of stuff. So it was just basically like a mock-up of a book, and empty inside, like it was blank. And so he told Tyrese, the rest is on you. You got to write the book. And so Tyrese obviously felt pressured, and the thing was, though, even though Tyrese always wanted to write a book, this guy Samir actually planted the seed. And then one day things sort of changed, because Samir's sister, I think it was, called Tyrese, and she was kind of flipping out, and she told Tyrese that Samir was in real trouble with his business, and that he had been in jail for 3 months, and they weren't sure if they could get him out. And so Tyrese tried everything he could possibly do to inspire him and keep him going. And then when Tyrese wrote his like a draft sort of a thing, he sent it to Samir, hoping to lift his spirits up, which he did. but you know, Samir was in jail for a full year, and then after a few months, he was kind of hopeful, like, you know, he was going to be released, and he was excited and stuff like that. But after only a few months in jail, he committed suicide, and he actually jumped off a high-rise building. And this shook Tyrese's world, because this was the first time at the age of, I think he was 31, where he witnessed suicide. And he just couldn't understand, he couldn't grasp why someone would take their own life. Yes, I think this guy Samir thought that, you know, he would go back in jail and he would never come out. But, you know, Tyrese just couldn't understand why this guy would take his own life, where he had, yes, he had struggles and things weren't going well, but he had his whole life. And so at this point, it sort of clicked to him that it was weird. It was kind of ironic, actually, that Samir was the one who changed the title, who made it How to Get Out of Your Own Way, yet Samir actually got in his own way and took his own life and didn't want to continue. And it was quite bizarre how things turned out, but he was actually exonerated. So, you know, looking back, you think, you know, if he had known that he would be exonerated, would he have committed suicide? Were things that bad that he just, you know, couldn't handle his life? And it just really makes you think, you know, it makes you think about your own life. And I want to quote a little paragraph from the book, because it really says it all. It says, if you don't figure out your life and get out of your own way, your choices could possibly lead to a life of misery, bad circumstances, and, as you can see, sometimes as extreme as suicide. And that, I think, is really profound, because it's true. You know, you really have to have a hold on things. Because once the mind starts happening, thoughts are so powerful, and once you start thinking every day that, you know, life is not worth living, and having those look, I think everyone goes through a point of wondering why they're here. You know, what's life about? What am I doing here? Am I making a difference? How can I make a difference? And you know, it's and there's days that you get up and, you know, you're not feeling all the best, and it can take over your day if you continue those thoughts. And so this is what he's saying. He's like, figure out your life. Figure out, okay, you're having a bad day today, but it doesn't mean that it'll be that way tomorrow, for example. And then Tyrese started sharing his thoughts, because obviously this shook his world, his friend committing suicide. So he started sharing his inner thoughts and his just what he was basically thinking on, you know, your Twitter, your Facebook, your MySpace, whatever it was back there. And when he saw the amount of, he noticed actually that as he was sharing his thoughts and confessions and whatever it was, his fans were doing the same. And he noticed that he had built an amazing community, which I mentioned yesterday, which he's called the Love Circle, which is, it suits it, because if you go to his page, his Facebook page, it's a community where there's a lot of feedback, a lot of shares, so you can see that whatever he's sharing, whether it be a picture or a video, his videos are amazing. They get thousands upon thousands, you know, 50,000 whatever shares, because they're profound. They're not just, hey, how you going, whatever, you know. He shares stuff that are deep, that I'm sure that every one of us think at one stage. Yet the good thing is he's been through all this stuff, and he can shed some light on how he overcame that certain part of his life, and how he is now, and how it changed him as a man. The other thing that I wanted to share was another quote. It said, actually, it says, you need a clear sense of direction, otherwise you're going to feel stuck in your hopes and dreams. And the last quote that is literally taken word from from the book, word for word from the book is, I believe that the best thing you can do for yourself is to allow your spirit to stay open to all possibilities and to consider new things without limiting yourself to only what you know you are comfortable with. Your life should be an ongoing and growing process. Now, if we just touch base on that for a minute, I think that little paragraph in itself is huge, because how many of us literally have set limits on what can be achieved for us, or even still what others put limits on us? So they might say, oh, that's too big, you can't do that, or you're a first timer, or you're just new to the industry, or things like that. And it really puts a damper on our thoughts. Yet he's saying, if you believe or listen and really grasp what others are saying about your limits, you will limit yourself. But don't, because really, I saw a quote from my friend Bobby yesterday, and he said, you know, he doesn't understand why people come and say to him, you can't, this is not possible, or whatever. And he's like, well, hang on a minute, there's a car on Mars, you know? Anything is possible, truly, like anything is possible. And I don't believe that, yes, it's scary. I mean, I'm doing some massive stuff at the moment, and yeah, I'm a first timer in this new industry, in this TV industry, and do you think that's stopping me? No, but I've got some awesome support, and that's what I want to share. I've stepped out, for example, myself, I've stepped out into this new industry, the TV industry. I know pretty much nothing about, because I've just done 6-7 years of internet marketing. And I'm taking on this massive project at the moment, which I can't disclose, it's confidential, but yeah, it's scary. It's scary because I'm new to the industry. I may get looked upon as, yes, I do have some experience in the online world, but you are technically a newbie in this industry and you can't handle the pressure, or you don't know how to move forward, or blah, blah, blah. But how I'm taking it is differently. It's like, you know what? I'm going to take a shot. And I've got great support. So I've connected with some really awesome people who know the next steps, whereas I wouldn't have a clue. I mean, if you said to me, okay, you know what? You got to go from here to here, I'll be, great, that's nice. How do I do that? So I've actually connected with somebody that knows the next steps, and that will help me do the same. So my question to you is, that was pretty much the whole, it wasn't a chapter, sort of a speak, but it was a foreword. So it was before the chapters really start. Food for thought. Has that foreword made you think about your own life and the way it's moving forward and things like that? And as Tyrese, when he does his videos, he usually says, if you reach the end of this video, write blah, 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 or make a comment or whatever it is. I really want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on, you know, life and how you see it as at this present time, whether you're feeling depressed, feeling good, or you're feeling very optimistic about the future, and whether, you know, committing suicide or taking your own life has come up a few times and how you've handled that. And even, you know, if you've enjoyed the foreword, and you looking forward to the next chapter, which I can't wait. It is, I mean, when I read this chapter, I said to my kids, I said, you have to read this chapter because it was so good. It's called A Message to Our Youth, and that's tomorrow. So it's, yeah, almost 15 minutes long, but I want to try not to rush them too much and not to make them too long. So I'm hoping that 15 minutes is okay. Please leave a comment below. If you haven't connected with me yet, first of all, subscribe to my YouTube channel, connect with me on Facebook, Katrina Kavvalos, and it's pretty much across all social networks, Katrina Kavvalos. And subscribe, well, go to Tyrese Gibson's Facebook page and buy his book. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye!